A brand new service which we can be proud of is now available at the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. Vascular or ABI screening. Who should get a vascular screening? Persons living with diabetes or persons who experience pain or burning sensation in their legs or toes, especially while they are resting. This is normally referred to as bad circulation. Book your vascular or ABI screening test today by calling the Maria Holder Diabetes Center 243-3937 to get more information and make an appointment. Board members get 10% off.
Good morning, Larry and friends, and all who are tuned in to VOB right now, 9 o'clock on Saturday morning, and you're all talking about the good old time days and the good old time music from the past. Well, we are going to take a short break now and focus on your health, because you are about to hear 15 eye-opening vascular minutes with the compliments of the Barbados Diabetic Eye Screening Program and the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. So welcome everyone to today's show. This is Peter Boyce here. And Larry, before I start, I want to send a special shout out to a person I know who listens to Larry and Friends every Saturday and also comments on my Facebook page every day. And that person is Curtis Griffith. Good morning, Curtis. Because I know that he will be listening right now, cooling out in front of his house. So as I said before, we are going to take 15 minutes to focus on your health with a show that's especially designed for diabetics, pre-diabetics, and people who would like to avoid being diabetic. So everybody is covered. All of this compliments the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, which is located in Warren, St. Michael. And there are so many health things that I just learn every week from putting this show together. And there's so much that you can learn from listening that will have you saying,
why didn't know that? I'm so glad I listened to this show.
So we can take some of the bad health habits that you might have and replace them with some good health habits. That's what we want to do. A good place to start having healthy habits is by visiting the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, where you can find a range of services for diabetics and pre-diabetics. So what will we focus on today's radio show? We focus on feet recently? No. So let me start with a feet focus. Because monitoring your feet is a constant process that a diabetic should be involved in. And that's why they have a podiatry department at the Diabetes Center with podiatrist Tony Pickering that deals with nail cutting, corn and callus removal, wound care, management of ingrown toenails, and nail fungal management. And if you think you might have a foot issue, here is the message that podiatrist Tony has for you. Make sure and listen.
Please do not wait until the nth hour when you have a problem to call frantically at any of the offices, at any of the clinics, or turn up. If you are unsure of what is going on, please let somebody know at the beginning. Because what is alarmingly noticeable right now, let me put it that way, is that everybody knows COVID affects the lungs and it affects breathing and it's an airway disease. Guess what? If it affects breathing and it's an airway disease and it affects your oxygen, that means it affects your circulation. And a lot of the times you see people come to the clinic, they have an ulcer, the circulation is crap. And we have been seeing, and when I say we, I mean my colleagues and I at the clinic, we have been seeing an increasingly large number of patients coming in with ulcers who may not have had any arterial deficiencies before, meaning that they don't have any problems with their blood supply coming into the leg, but they've had COVID and now we have seen accelerated wounds, meaning that the wounds speed up. They're a lot more critical than they were before. So what I would say is that in the current climate that we are in, please do not hesitate to contact somebody, preferably podiatrist or your diabetologist or your diabetes doctor, because as we discussed earlier, there are a very small amount of us here, and we can't manage 280 or however much thousand people that we have on this island. We can't all do it by ourselves. It has to be a community approach. So I would appreciate if people just pay a little more attention to what's going on, and if you do not take anything for granted. Things may be expensive, but there's always a way that you can get things done.
You heard what podiatrist Tony said, right? Let me play it for you again.
Pay a little more attention to what's going on, and if you do not take anything for granted.
So if you home listening to your radio right now and you see some little cut or some little bruise on your foot, you need to make an appointment with the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. And even if you don't see anything, still take advantage of their maintenance and management foot services so that you can keep your feet healthy. So call and make that appointment 243-3937 3937. You best call now before you forget. That same number, right, can book you a vascular service. You may have circulation problems with your veins and arteries, something that is called chronic venous insufficiency. You hear that medical term? You might be wondering,
But what that means, Boise?
so let me find out. We're going to go to vascular surgeon with the QEH, Dr. Nina Yap, and we can hear what that means.
Chronic venous insufficiency, that is problems with the veins. So what we've been talking about is the arteries. Now the arteries carry blood towards the feet, and the veins return the blood from the feet up the body and up to the heart. And then that cycle repeats. So it's kind of like a pool pump. The arteries pump it out and the veins drain it back in. Chronic venous insufficiency is a completely different disease or disorder. It is, what I'd say to persons, it is not usually as urgent as poor circulation, because not having enough blood flow is very different than the veins not returning blood as fast. So vein problems will usually look like leg swelling. To be frank, it's more common in women when they have these spider veins that then turn into lumpy veins on their legs, and a lot of women don't like the appearance. But more so, the more important part is that if that is allowed to continue for a long time and those lumpy veins turn into darkening of the legs, what can happen is that person could get an ulcer of the leg. Now that is a completely different ulcer than what we've been talking about for the last bit. This ulcer is usually due from the swelling and the congestion of the veins not pumping up that blood enough up to the heart. And that can sometimes cause a venous or a vein ulcer. Very different to an artery ulcer, and it's managed very differently. So that is a whole nother, I'd say a whole nother segment, but vein problems are different to artery problems. Okay, so can patients have both peripheral arterial disease and chronic venous disease? Meaning, can someone have an artery and a vein problem at the same time? Yes. Would I say it's common? I'd probably say it's not super common, but what can happen is persons can have both, for sure. When a person has an ulcer on their leg and has both problems, meaning an artery problem and a vein problem, that's when it can get a bit tricky, and how do you manage it? So the management is quite different. But yes, you can have both problems. And so that's why I'm saying always make sure you have your doctor involved before you put on those compression stockings, because if you have a circulation problem, you just want to make sure that you're not putting on too tight of stockings that could prevent the little bit of circulation that you might have from getting down to your feet. So you can have both issues.
You see how technical these things is? With your veins and your arteries working together to keep the blood flowing properly through your body. And that's why it is important for you that if anything goes wrong, to catch it early. And that is why it's best to be safe than sorry and call and make an appointment for a vascular service. The cost is only $100, and if you have a BARP card, it's even less. 243-3937 is the number to call. That is also the number to call to book an eye screening for diabetic retinopathy. As a diabetic every year, you need to do that so you don't end up going blind. And the Barbados Diabetic Eye Screening Program is now making it easier for you. If you live in the north, by Corner, Connelltown, Six Mins, good morning to you if you're listening. If you could not make it to Warrens, there's now an opportunity for you to get your eye screened at Eddie's Supermarket in Spicestone. We now go to Renee Griffith from the Diabetes Foundation for an update on that.
Last Friday, the 10th of February, we visited Eddie's Supermarket in Spicestone, and the response was pretty okay. I do encourage persons once again to call ahead to make an appointment. Our next day that we'll be there will be the 24th of February from 10 a.m. until 2 p.m. To make an appointment, our numbers are 243-3937 or 41.
We now welcome to the show a patient of the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, Miss Dacia Moore.
Thank you for having me. I have had diabetes for just about 8 years now. I got it when I was really young. I could say it impacted my life pretty big, especially going through school and stuff. It was quite difficult back then.
What did you learn from being a patient of the Maria Holder Diabetes Center?
I learned that diabetes, don't limit yourself. It is not the end of the world, and that you can do everything a quote-unquote normal person can do. And as long as you have a good support system, you'll be okay. I utilize the diabetes specialist nurse the podiatrist, the nutritionist. There's also a psychologist there as well. And of course, the doctor. The staff there, everybody there is really nice and they're supportive and they help me through a lot of my problems. They taught me about calorie counting, learning how to balance my meal so that I can still enjoy the sweet things and everything else that, as I said, quote unquote, normal people can enjoy. They help me not to be insecure about having diabetes. It's something that I have to live with and to love myself, to be confident in everything I do.
If you are looking for an institution that's dedicated exclusively to the management of diabetes in Barbados, that offers a range of services that caters to both diabetics and pre-diabetics, the Maria Holder Diabetes Center, located in Warren St. Michael, is the answer for you. Whether it's diabetic eye screening, podiatry, or vascular screening, you will receive a level of service and treatment that exceeds any you might receive regionally or internationally. So if you are listening to your radio right now and need to make an appointment or need more information on any diabetic issue you might have, make that call now at 417-0305 or 243-3937. The last 15 eye-opening minutes you heard on VOB was brought to you with the compliments of the Barbados Diabetic Eye Screening Program and the Maria Holder Diabetes Center. Until next time, remember, your health is your wealth.
Did you know nearly 1 in 5 adults in Barbados have diabetes? Did you know diabetes is one of the leading causes of vision loss in the world? Regular eye screening can save your eyes. Contact the Barbados Diabetic Eye Screening Program today at 243-3937 to find out how you get your simple digital eye screening done for just $90. But members get 10% off. The Barbados Diabetic Eye Screening Program. Saving eyes, saving lives.